So if that happens, then we can consider me psychic. Although you could be like, well, how do we know you recorded this June 8th? You know, where's the proof? You uploaded this on like October. I don't know what day this will be on. Probably like, I mean, this might be around Halloween, honestly. I don't even know. Let's look at the calendar. Let's skip ahead to October and see when this might line up. It might be around the 26th. You're seeing this? Maybe? That sounds right. Am I right on that? I don't know. I think we have to do raises nose? I think that's it. I think that's a little too wide for his mouth. Are we supposed to mess with his mouth at all? I don't know. This face sucks. I'm just trusting my gut that we got 90. I mean, 90's not too hard to get, I don't think. Finish. I'm like, I keep hearing noises, and it's Jilly trying to pick at the blinds right now because they're closed because it's nighttime. Because I should have recorded this sooner when it was not nighttime. And now I gotta compete with a Jilla G in the background, being kind of nosy. She's not being nosy. She's just being a sweet kitty right now, except she being kind of not nosy, but noisy. And it's a good thing that I did not go this way, because we would not have gotten this star. I think the star could actually appear where I'm at right now. It did not, but it could have. And hey, we got another chance time space on the board, so that's fun too. I think if you play a full play of this... Oh wow, she didn't have both the stars in the game right now. I didn't even realize Mario had one. Oh, I guess I did know that. Wow, she got them both though. You know, if you play a longer game of Mario Party on a board like this where chance time spaces can appear, then you'll definitely get some more value out of those spaces. They'll get landed on more often. But, you know, I'm sure we'll probably see it at least once, just based on the fact that there's already 2 spaces on the board. And, you know, 20 turns is still a lot. It's enough. It's enough for it to happen, for sure. So, we'll probably see it. I gotta say, this series is also pretty interesting, because I have to, like, figure out things to say the entire time. Not that that's difficult, you know, long recording sessions are really nothing. When you're streaming, it's a lot easier. I know we have not seen this game yet. I'm gonna talk about this game real quick, because this game is brutal. And I'm really bad at mashing, so I might lose a bunch of cash here. So, if you get grabbed and you fall in the pipe there, you lose 1/3 of your coins. And not only do you lose 1/3 of your coins... I can't mash fast enough. Nope. I can't outmash the computer. I'm sorry, I'm just not fast enough. So, not only do you lose 30 coins, or 1/3 of your coins, but that minus 26 there goes against my minigame score for like the bonus star at the end. And that plus 26 for Mario goes to his minigame score. So Crane Game is very brutal. The 1 versus 3 games in this, people always say they're not balanced, but I think that's due to the fact that the 1 versus 3 either really favors the first player or really does not favor the first player. So I think it is balanced in that sense. And, you know, the luck part just comes in, like, which one will you get, right? So that's unfortunate that I lost that. So we're gonna have to try and earn our you know, our coins back in minigames by winning some minigames, and also just by earning some stars on the board, because, you know, we can only earn 3 bonus stars at the end. And I can do my best, definitely. I mean, you know, that's a detriment for sure, but as long as I keep winning minigames, it should be okay. You know, that's not terrible to bounce back from, especially because I did have a single-player minigame, and no one's had that yet, so that's like a plus 10 no one else had. So I did have that, right? So I do have that going for me. Okay, I gotta do my best not to stop playing this. I feel like this is like way harder on the Switch Pro controller. I don't know. It just feels like you either just go or not. Either go or not. There's no in between. There's supposed to be an in between, but it doesn't feel like it on the Switch Pro controller. When I was playing GoldenEye, I really felt that for sure. The sensitivity is kind of nuts on it. But, you know, with GoldenEye, I certainly didn't want to... I didn't want to play the N64 controller. The idea of being able to use dual analog to play it just sounded so much fun, but then it turns out the sensitivity was just absolutely maddening. I still did it, though. Probably better on the Xbox version. Whatever. Alright, so... we're going to go left here to, again, we're going to avoid paying coins because we want to get our coins back. We want to try and get that coin star and also stay out of the way of the boulder. So there's no real reason to get in the path. What the heck was I saying? Oh yeah, we were talking about having to make commentary for this for like an hour. Which, like I said, isn't the worst thing because I do it all the time on stream, but I usually have chat to interact with. And, you know, I like Mario Party, don't get me wrong, but... It's never been like my favorite game or anything like that. I have a lot of nostalgia for it, definitely renting it. We always consider it as a rental game. But, you know, as far as being a favorite or anything, you know, I think it's fine. You know, this particular entry, Mario Party 1, I said was my favorite, and I still think it's number 2 for me, but, you know, with Mario Party Superstars, I just think that one's just better. I just think it kind of does everything that I've wanted. That I wish it could do more. But, you know, it does enough. Let's see if we can get them both. Well, I got neither of them. But, you know, it's funny seeing what the AI do. It's always entertaining to see the kind of shenanigans they get into. And like I said, I don't try to win Mario Party. That's why I don't usually like playing single-player Mario Party. Because then I have to try and win. But now that it's like... Now I don't really have to try to win. Because... Like I said, this is just for funsies, you know. I'm recording it. There's nothing on the line, right? My pride, I guess, if I can beat the AI. But there's nothing really on the line versus like I think story modes from Mario Party really drive me nuts. Like Mario Party 3 story mode where you like have to win. It's like yeah, of course you have to win, but it's like it's not as fun cuz you have to win. No, it sounds so stupid, but it's true. I'm serious. So, whereas this, we just have to play all 6 boards. Well, there's more than 6 boards, but we have to play the first 6 boards anyway. And you know, we'll get to the rest of the unlock conditions. I'm kind of like, you guys. I mean, if you're watching this, you have likely played this before. Maybe you haven't. It's a chance you haven't. So I don't want to give away everything. But I do intend on covering all of the content of this game because it's not like a ton. There's enough to keep this game going for, you know, for decades where people are still playing it to this day. But it's more so for the multiplayer aspect, unless you're Bobo or Slim. Then, you know, you're still playing it. But, you know, they're not alone in that. Lots of people play this single player. I've never, like I said, when I rented this, I probably played it a lot more single player. You know, I got a lot more playtime out of single player N64 back in the day. Because if we rented a game, like, what am I going to do, not play it? You know, like, obviously I'm going to play it. Oh, can we actually win? Oh, I think we might. Oh my goodness, I won bumper balls. Let's go. This game's, like, it's so hard to win. Especially against the hard AI. They're too good at it. So we got pretty lucky there, I think so. Well, anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this game, trying to win it and stuff. Yeah. It's like I said, it's not my favorite game, but like I said, in the N64 era of renting video games, I'm like probably the most nostalgic for renting games in the N64 era. Probably mostly because Scythe had like this Blockbuster card because he won like a Donkey Kong Country speedrun competition. You guys have heard of that like Donkey Kong Country competition cartridge? You may have heard of it if you're like an avid game like collector because it's a valuable cart. Well, it's from a real competition that was hosted at least Blockbuster. I don't know about other places, but at least Blockbuster. And he won his local one. And so he got like free game rentals for like a year or something like that. Which I guess doesn't really add up because, you know, Donkey Kong Country would have been later. I don't know. Maybe my timeline is messed up. maybe he had it for, maybe it was longer than a year. I know he definitely did have free rentals for a year, and it was like for a long time too. We just stole a star, and we're about to get a second one, aren't we? This is a great turn. And we're about to land on a happening space too, which gives us more contention for the happening star. So that's awesome too. Look at that, from worst to first. Actually, I think Wario was in last, or Mario. I stole from Peach. Mario wasn't last. From second to first. All right. Well, whatever. I guess that doesn't really add up, does it? But anyway, we definitely rented a lot of N64 games. We rented so many N64 games that we didn't even own an N64 game at first because we just rented them. Yeah, Scythe got the Cyphron, by the way. He's my brother. And if you're this far and you didn't know that, then, you know, you might not even know who he is. That would have meant a lot more years ago. Anyway, my older brother, he bought the N64, but he got it with no games, because we just rented them. So we never owned Super Mario 64. That was a game that I bought when I started collecting video games, and I was lucky enough to actually purchase it for $5 in box at Value Village, a day that I talk about all the time, because I also bought Donkey Kong Country 2 in the box for $5. That box is in much worse condition than Super Mario 64. Hey, you know, by time this goes up, maybe I will have given that box to King Kienzin, who's probably watching this video. I would guess. He's in the Mario Party. Yo, shouts to Kingo. I know he's more of a Mario Party 3 guy, but I can see him watching this. I feel like a lot of our community is really into Mario Party. It's a fun series to get into. Was this the first time we played Bobsled Run, by the way? No, we had a record already, so no. Slot Car Derby, I know we also have played. I just didn't win it the first time. I know I've played it. Well, anyway, yeah, he might have that. I always talk about, yeah, the games that could have been at Value Village, because I passed up on Donkey Kong Country in box for $5, because I was like, I own Donkey Kong Country already. Dumb. Stupidest thing I ever did. And I also passed up on Tetris and Dr. Mario. I don't know why I passed up on that one, because that would have been a cool one to own. That was also in box for $5. These were all $5 games. I was like, well, I can spend $10. I don't want to spend $20. That's too much. Stupid. Like, the biggest gaming regrets right there was passing up those games. But, you know, at least I got Super Mario 64 in box out of it. Especially for a game that I never grew up with. It's kind of fun owning that one in the box. And, you know, I have Donkey Kong Country 2. And even though the box isn't in great shape, I got to give it to my friend who's like, you know, that's like his favorite game of all time. So, works out. And maybe down the line he'll get a better box for it, you know, get the upgrade. Now, I know we haven't seen this one, because Bobo points out that the background for this is glitched. I don't think it's supposed to have the, like, facelift background. I think it's just, I don't know what's supposed to be in the background at all, but it's kind of appropriate that facelift is behind this right now. But yeah, I think it's glitched. There's something wrong with it that's not supposed to be the background there. Or maybe it's just supposed to be black, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It's weird though. Just N64 emulation. Anyway, back to the rental story. Yeah, we never owned like any game until Scythe eventually bought GoldenEye, which we had rented first. We rented GoldenEye 007, so that was our first owned N64 game. And so he bought that, and we only had one controller, but when he rented it, he rented a controller too, so we got to play multiplayer. But honestly, having GoldenEye be our first owned game with only one controller gave me such an appreciation for how good of a single-player campaign it is. Like, I do love first-person shooters, for sure. Perfect Dark is my favorite of all time. And, you know, I don't think GoldenEye is, like, I don't think it's, like, bad by comparison or something. I just like Perfect Dark more. I'm just saying, I think that just gave me a better appreciation for, like, you know, GoldenEye is definitely remembered as being, like, the multiplayer, 4-player game for nights. I barely played it 4-player because we never had 4 controllers. You know, it was a rarity. Maybe we were, like, at a sleepover or something and people had controllers, but you know, it was rare that I played that 4-player. 2-player, lots of one-on-ones in that for sure. That was the most multiplayer I got out of that, was definitely 1v1. But yeah, I got a great appreciation for the single-player campaign of GoldenEye 007 because we only had the one controller. But yeah, I can remember renting a bunch of games, honestly. Some notable ones that come to mind for like early. We did rent Mario 64, but I don't remember that one too much. I do remember one game rental session we had where I stayed over at my grandma's house, and I remember we rented Yoshi's Island, or not Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's Story. And so we rented Yoshi's Story, and we rented WCW versus NWO. So 2 very different games. I feel like we enjoyed WCW versus NWO way more, and maybe we had rented a controller at that point, like, so we at least had 2-player. But I definitely remember that rental session for sure. What's even, I haven't been paying attention. Like, I'm not even looking at the game right now. I'm just rolling the dice and see what happens and just telling my stories here. I feel like I remember liking that one a lot. You know, eventually we'd get No Mercy, or I would buy. I own No Mercy now, but I remember that being awesome. And you know, WCW versus NWO is pretty much like the precursor to that. Even though it was a different wrestling company, it was made by the same. It was developed by the same people. I'm pretty sure. That's not really important. Oh boy, Tug of War. Oh, now we have played this one before. Ah, man, I don't want to lose because it'll be a -5, but I guess it'll also be a -5 to Mario, who like stole coins from me, so it wouldn't be like the worst thing ever. So I can try to win, I suppose. All right, you know what? We're going for it. We're going for it. Come on, come on, we got this. We got this. There we go, destroying my webbing in the process there. I went for it. I was going in. I don't know. I felt like we could win it. I hate playing that one. I really do. Interesting. I'm pretty sure when we rented Yoshi's Story,